Lures. We walk into our local tackle shop and literally there's thousands to choose from. What do we buy? But what we've got to think about first is the species we're going to target. So let's look at our pelagic fish: tailor, salmon, kingfish, bonito, mackerel up north, giant trevally. They're our pelagic species. They're a larger fish, so we need a larger lure. And we need a lure that runs reasonably fast. So select a lure that has a narrow bib against selecting a lure that has a wider bib. This lure here will give you a big wobbly action, and they run better when they're trolled slow. Larger lure, again, nice narrow action on the bib there. That's going to give you a nice speed through the water. So these lures are going to troll reasonably quick. And most of our pelagic fish, that's the type of lure you need. If we see fish working on the surface, quite often we'll see this, we'll have bird activity. Right, the fish are right up on top. You can go to a casting lure. All right, you can use a single hook, like this one's rigged up. We can go to one which has a treble. And these are ideal for casting a surface activity. Then we move into our surface poppers. Again, we're chasing larger fish, our pelagics, so you want a larger popper. These are a lure that floats on the top. You cast out and wind back madly towards the boat, and these will act like a small wounded bait fish running across the surface. They've got a big cup face, so it'll shower water out in front of it as it runs along. Fantastic lure, especially for giant GTs up north. They come in all different types of poppers. This one here is a different type. Got a large propeller on the front. Again, it'll give you a nice splashy action across the top, and it'll work quite well for your pelagic fish on the surface. If you're fishing extremely deep water, around reefs, you may go to a jig, large metal jig, very similar to the smaller lures that we showed you in metal, except these ones are worked vertically, straight up and down under the boat in deep water. Drop down close to the bottom and then a very fast retrieve, and it'll work quite well for you. And they come in a range of different sizes. Now, if we're thinking about smaller species, your bread and butter species, your brim, your whiting, your flathead, you've got to think of smaller lures. For your brim, little small surface poppers might work. Now, to a brim feeding across the sand flats, with this working across the top, or a whiting, it might look like a small prawn. You've got various different types of lures to use there. Both surface activity, one's got a cup face, the other one will just give you a nice zigzag pattern across the top of the water. Then if you're fishing deeper water, maybe you want to go to some bladed lures. Now these are fairly heavy. You can work these vertically or you can cast them and you get good results from these little lures. But again, we're looking for our small bread and butter species, your brim, your whiting, mainly with these, small trevally and stuff like that. Okay, moving along, squid jigs. Most estuaries have squid in them, and I find squid are very tricky to catch on a standard lure, so you need a squid jig that has multi-hooks on the back. Simply cast these out, allow it to sink around weedy and kelpy areas, very slow retrieve with a couple of twitches of the rod tip, and they come in a range of sizes and a range of colours. So simply, a few lures that'll cover a lot of different options and quite a lot of different species.
To find out more about the show, check out our website, TheHookandTheCook.com.